All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the next best of 5, just jumping right into it. And we have got a Terran, which I'm excited to watch. In the bottom left, it's none other than SpeCial. And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, his opponent, it's Hurricane. These two are going to be playing a best of 5 to determine who will move on to face Patience in a best of 7 finals. Already something interesting from the start from Hurricane. Going to be mining out the back mineral patches. Wanting to really open this up with targeting both these patches, which I'll say is interesting. It's not a speed thing. But then it is. He chose to mine 5 off this one deliberately, which is interesting. Anyway, yeah, Patience, or SpeCial, pardon me, going to be proxy in a little bit. Bit of a proxy barracks with an extra barracks back at home. Reaper is on the way. Interestingly enough, though, Hurricane just going for a cyber core. And this is actually, oh man, this is Golden Wall for you. It's going to be Proxy City, I think, as Hurricane. He's probably going to be doing that Void Ray shenanigans that Terrans have been loving so much lately. SpeCial has got an SCV to the north. I wonder if that's going to build anything. So it's going to be a Proxy Reaper, then the barracks is just going to float away a little bit. However, I mean, the Adept's already being chrono boosted out, which is like best case scenario for Hurricane. And then he's just got a pylon building across the map. So SpeCial, it's just got to be like, oh no. Yeah, he's just got to be saying, oh no, as he's going to be going up against a Proxy build, most likely a Void Ray. I'll bet my, I don't know. I'd definitely bet on it. As that's the meta right now. Protoss just trying to Void Ray out Terrans. The Stargate is quite a ways away, so it's not going to be super easy if SpeCial tries to find this. Not that he really can, due to he'd have to go around the back of Hurricane's base. So SpeCial, as far as I'm concerned, should probably just be panicking. He's got the double gas though, so he'll have that production. But we're going to have to pay close attention to see whether this is how you hold off that cheese. And oh, SpeCial actually loses the Reaper. Got 2 probes, but loses the Reaper. The Stargate's on the way for Hurricane. Interestingly enough, though, I'll say, Hurricane actually is not just going to be throwing up batteries and stuff and really trying to make this cheese happen. He's just going to throw up a Nexus behind this, which I really do like. There's no way for SpeCial to know that there's this Nexus coming, and he's probably just got alarm bells ringing in his ear about this cheese. Or what he should be assuming is a cheese, right? Just seeing the Cybercore. He did see 2 pylons, but there's definitely that Proxy Oracle on the way. And that could really hurt SpeCial, depending if he goes for a move out, what his plan is. He is one basing it, keep in mind, with his starport. So it's going to be a one base against the play of Hurricane. SpeCial is going to lift off his barracks and float it towards his opponent, trying to keep the starport hidden, which is a very wise move. In comes the Oracle, which we'll see if it's able to get too much damage. Shouldn't be able to, since there's all these Marines hanging out in the main base. SpeCial was just planning on moving out, though, and the Oracle's really going to put a rain on that parade. 3 SCVs go down. I mean, Hurricane even gets a 4th on his way out, which is quite painful. There's going to be a Void Ray coming up behind this, and I think SpeCial is honestly just done. His initial proxy was such a big commitment against this, and now he's pretty much got to kill Hurricane. In fact, he literally does have to kill Hurricane. There's not a chance for SpeCial if he doesn't. I mean, his barracks that he was had producing Marines was found. He's now got a Viking and a Medivac on the way. But all Hurricane needs to do is survive. So he's throwing up a shield battery, throwing up an extra pylon, since he figures that this warp gate will be unpowered. And he did just have 2 more gateways finish up, so he can do some warp-ins. And the low number of gateway units against a low number of Terran units isn't that bad. And a Void Ray with a shield battery should be able to do some decent work against some Marines. It's not going to be an easy hold for Hurricane, as SpeCial is bringing all of his SCVs, so it's going to be close regardless, or bringing a big chunk of his SCVs anyway. So we'll see. SCV is now going to move up the ramp. SpeCial, he's working away on the pylon. Okay, yeah, maybe he can make this work. I thought that Hurricane was going to have a pretty easy time shutting this down, but it's not going to be completely smooth sailing now that SpeCial does actually have Cyclones on the way and Vikings on the way too. That really will help out. Siege tank is shooting away on that Stalker, kills it off. Shield battery is also already killed off. Oh my gosh, is SpeCial going to win this game? That's really not what I expected. I believe the Oracle actually killed the Cyclone while that was going on too, and it did. But yeah, this is still quite dicey for Hurricane, just based on the fact that he's only got the gateway units. He's got an extra Void Ray on the way now, and he's got a Void and an Oracle that are on the SpeCial side of the map, basically trying to turn this into a full-on base trade, pardon me, which very well could work. The Void Ray, it's gonna take a lot of damage, but it does survive. Very important. SpeCial's mining's now been fully disrupted. He knows that he needs to push into his opponent, but he's gotta inch forward with this push, as otherwise we very well could see Hurricane just dive on top of this, even pulling the probes. As right now, SpeCial's not mining at all, whereas Hurricane is mining fully. An extra Void Ray came across the map, or an extra Void Ray popped out. This is going to allow the Cyclone to work away on that. The Cyclone very well being microed actually superbly by SpeCial, making sure that it does actually get the repel on that Void Ray. So Cyclone doing a lot of work in order to get SpeCial mining again. That being said, his economy still is very poor, and he does have to really amp the pressure up on Hurricane, as Hurricane's getting out a high number of Zealots. He's making more and more Void Rays. He's got the Oracle and just so many Zealots. They're slow Zealots, but it's a lot of Zealots. I wouldn't even mind seeing an extra bunker or two get started up for SpeCial. Like, we know Hurricane's going to try and break this, and we're seeing that right now. One of the Void Rays gets targeted down. The Vikings doing a lot of work. A Cyclone does show up. I'd really love an extra bunker for SpeCial to help advance this push, to help put more pressure on Hurricane. And let's take a look. SpeCial just doing work with his Marines. Hurricane, he's got a ton of Zealots. I guess his Cyber Core died, and that's why he wasn't able to warp in Stalkers or Adepts. He feels pressure to go for it, and it looks like he's going to. This is actually such a close push. Void Ray overcharging, working away in that bunker, will end up cracking it. The Zealots getting base time with the Marines. Another Void Ray comes in, but the Vikings will make it easy pickings. SpeCial micro and everything he can. This is actually such a close fight. The two siege tanks are so low. One of them dies, the other stays alive, and the main nexus of Hurricane is gonna fall. Probes being pulled into this now. Better late than never. The siege tank has been repaired by SpeCial, and I think that's gonna be it. Juanito is gonna be able to take map number 1, when I honestly had thought that it was looking very poorly for him. Well done by SpeCial. I will never doubt you again, as he takes game number 1 in this best of 5. Hello, Copenhagen Das. Saying, crash, thunder, a storm coming over the Atlantic. A hurricane has arrived. Alright, so the next map is going to be Eternal Empire. Good to see Golden Wall get played on. Honestly, as someone who plays Terran, oh, by the way, this camera needs to be a little bit adjusted, huh? My setup and everything is a bit of a mess right now. Okay. So we'll make sure that everyone's doing alright and ready to go. SpeCial is ready. We shall make sure that Hurricane is ready. And then we'll jump into it. Just LaughNgamez right now. Commentating, we may get joined by Falcon later. That shall be determined, I guess, later. His power was off a few hours ago, and he said it would be about 5 hours to come back on. So who knows, maybe he'll make it in time for the final series. Both players are ready, though, so we're going to load into the game. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are listening, check out the match arena, which is linked in the little blurb below. Help us use up those coupon codes. The players are more likely to come back if they get extra money, and that's a fact. People go where the money is. And now here we are into the next match. The best of 5 continues on. In the bottom left, crazy pressure and crazy proxy. It's SpeCial. In the top right-hand side of the map, we've got none other than Hurricane. I honestly wish Hurricane, like, went full tilt on that cheese against Special. And did, like, the full Void Ray thing and everything. I'd like to see that, just so I can see what people have really been complaining about. Okay. Normal openings, though. No proxy barracks from Special this game. This map is Hurricane's pick. So we'll see if he's feeling pretty comfortable on it or not. And it does seem to be a pretty good map for the Protoss player. Not an easy one for Terrence to do tank pushes and things on. So I'd say that's probably part of the reason why. Getting up to the 3 bases is pretty darn doable. Special. Going for that supply depot once again, really picking up in popularity to prevent the Protoss from scouting the Terran. And this really leaves the toss in the dark, as the Protoss player does not have a clue. Does not have a clue whether it's just going to be like a command center and it's a fake, whether there's another proxy across the map, whether it's going to be fast double gas, like in this case it is for Special. The probe actually makes it in. Okay, Special's wall bamboozle didn't really work out there, or whether that was intentional because he wants to kill the probe. That's the question. Was that intentional? Just to force the recall? Was that bait? Anyway, Hurricane now knows that Special's just going for the 1 base double gas. Hence why we see the Cyber Core on the way already, hence why we see the Stalker. Reaper is going to be jumping up for Special, but then look at that, yeah. I mean, he pulled some SCVs out of gas so that he got more minerals so he could get his command center up at reasonable time. Definitely later than a Reaper expand, but not a huge difference. A Hellion is now on the way for Special. And he even made that extra Reaper that he does. Just an odd number of Reapers and Hellions is really like a Special and TY kind of thing. I think if there's a Terran who you see make the most Reapers and Hellions, just playing around with an odd amount, I'd say it's usually TY. And here we see 2 Reapers and a Hellion. Very well could get some damage done. There's only 1 Stalker. And if these guys just run right to the natural base, tossing down a grenade, this could actually get a decent number of probe kills. So far, just the 1. Gets a 2nd. It's like there will be a 3rd, a 4th. That's not bad at all. Reapers jump into the main base, and looks like they'll jump on out. So a Hellion for 4 probes is definitely a worthwhile trade for the Terran. I really, really liked that move. The Protoss just having the 1 Stalker at the front, no shield battery up. And oh, Special use Sly Dog. Gonna be going for the armory, wanting those very quickly cloaked Widow Mines, which are just awesome for the record. Reapers engaging the Stalker, gonna throw down some grenades, give it a bit of grief. In comes the Oracle, though, heading towards Special's main base. There's a Widow Mine out, but it's not burrowed. Special not burrowing that mine could come back and bite him, but at the same time, Hurricane not moving right in with that Oracle could also bite him a little bit. And the Oracle, not moving in. I think he expects there to be more. There's the Widow Mine. Is it going to burrow? Is it going to get targeted down? Looks like it will get targeted down, but it doesn't actually die. 1 more tick, and that would have been gone. Now we're going to be seeing Special go for this drop. Do the mines get lifted up? One of them does. The other doesn't, though, so that's going to successfully burrow. It's now going to be a pain in the backside of Hurricane, who's going to need detection to deal with that Widow Mine. Reaper comes in. It's actually going to help kill off another probe. Looks like it will get even 1 more after that. And so we have got 4 probes going down for Hurricane, and then a pesky Widow Mine burrowed at its natural. The pressure considered in this game, though, the 3rd base is still very well timed for Hurricane. He does have to pull his probes, though. Special retargeting that mine in order to... oh, it does get a shot off, by the way. Hits the Phoenix. Retargeting that mine in order to prolong the lost mining, which is a really cute move. Two more mines coming into the main base, however. These are gonna burrow. One of them was very injured. If Hurricane was paying attention, he could have absolutely killed it off before it fired, but it did fire. And now Hurricane down another 10 probes is really hurting. 34 probes to the 40 of special. A third base is on the way, on location for the Terran. Now that just screams confidence. Almost overconfidence, but really, really strong is how Special's feeling. And I'd be feeling that too after getting this much damage done to a Protoss player early on. And oh, Special gonna be playing the mech style. Okay, we'll see about this. I'm not a mech believer, if I'm being fully honest. I think mech is not the best composition to close games out with. And so I feel if Special was going bio, he'd have a much easier time turning this lead into a win. Okay, Robo on the way for Hurricane, +1/2. He's got his third base out. He can chrono boost out probes too, so he should get this saturated up pretty quickly. But Special, his third base, is probably going to be sighted by Hurricane. However, it's already done, so it can't be canceled. Lock on to a Phoenix. That's one dead Phoenix. The second one getting very low too. Really cute move from Special. Or just good move from Special. Staying on top of this Phoenix. Nothing cute about it. Now let's take a look. There's the factories. Extra factories going up for Special. I'm just not a fan of the mech, to be fully honest with you. Alright, third base. Finished up. Good economy for Special. Hurricanes isn't bad, but it's not where it could be. And now we see a fourth base going up, which I do like. Particularly with Hurricane identifying that Special's going mech. I think getting the fourth base unpunished should be rather doable. He immediately cancels charge and goes into blink, which I love. I think blink is the best way to deal with mech. Blink and then charge. Even adding the Colossus on is kind of interesting. Colossus aren't the best against Cyclones. But then having one's not definitely doesn't hurt. So, you know, and oh my gosh, 2 more Robos on the way for Hurricane. That seems a little bit excessive. I don't know if you want this much Robo production against mech before you know what kind of mech it is. Like if you see that it's heavy tanks, Thors, then I say go nuts on the Robo, make a bajillion Immortals. But against the Hellion Cyclone, I like the Stalkers a lot. Special, though, if we do take a look, is actually just really focusing on getting up a lot of production and not just making units in the now. Hence why we see he's just making a couple of safety tanks, then getting up 3 more factories. He's starting up Magfield, Drilling Claws. Special is not planning on ending this game anytime soon with a timing attack, and so this is going to give Hurricane a lot of time to breathe. Special's already got +1 attack. He's got his armor finished up. Just the 1 armory going on. If you are going full macro mech, you may as well throw up the extra armory. And we'll see if Special's going to do that. So he does have a 4th base on the way. It's going... Oh gosh, I just don't like this though. To be honest with you, I think Special will probably move out for an attack at some point soon. But still, giving the Protoss player this much time just to build up to respond, I think is a very bold move. Because right now, Hurricane, he's making 3 Immortals at a time. He's got a Dark Shrine on the way. He's got Blink Stalkers out that are telling that this attack is coming. He's got a ton of Stasis Wards, and oh my gosh, 9 probes just died. Okay, nice Widowmine drop. That's a good one. Another drop going towards the main base. Oh, not a good shot, though. In comes this drop, hitting the 3rd base. Will get lifted up by the Phoenix. A nice play there. There's still the mine in the main, though. The mines at the natural have been cleaned up. However, at the same time, we see Special is starting to push on in. Hurricane's going to have to make a hold happen. It's not going to be easy, but he's got some great stasis wards so far, and it looks like he's actually just going to go for it. But then he decides to back on up, and oh my gosh, 4 Immortals at a time from Hurricane. When's the last time you saw Protoss make this many Immortals? I don't think I ever have. That's just ludicrous. That's 1,000 resources he's got, or 1,000 minerals plus he's got building in Immortals. And so if those 4 Immortals pop out, that'll make quite the difference in this fight. SpeCial, he's making this push happen, but I think that there's a chance Hurricane can just crush this, and we shall see. The Nexus has been locked onto. Hurricane's nervous about going into all these tanks, but look at the Immortal flank. In come these Immortals. They're not really getting on top of the tanks, though, so not doing a ton of work. The Phoenix not even getting good lifts off on many of the tanks, so not the best engagement at all from Hurricane. I mean, he did take an alright fight. He shaved off a lot of the buffer for the Terran Force with a good Zealot Warpin or two. Maybe he can make something happen, but look at this. For now, his Colossus are under attack. Gonna be losing those to the Vikings, which have no real counter. The Archons are now out, which can help, but all but one of the Colossus dies. SpeCial, he's got a very high tank count that's growing and growing. The 4th base of Hurricane is gone, and yeah, that engagement just was not the best for Hurricane. Like, SpeCial had 1 or 2 units that caught up like all 10 of the Immortals, and then there wasn't even many Immortals at the top side when I think there very well could have been. Hurricane, though, still says Immortals are the way, so he's going to keep making them. Instead of 3, 4 at a time, he's making 3 at a time, so not the best. But still, DTs are moving on in for Hurricane, going to get on top of this army. I mean, raw DTs used in a fight is definitely not the norm, however. There isn't a scan going right now. The DT's starting to swipe away on this. Does SpeCial actually not have a scan to help out with this? I think he's still pretty much got this game in the bag. And there we go. He scans to prove it. But still, yeah, that was alright for Hurricane. But in the end, I think he's pretty much just dead. It's currently 34 supply to 91 of SpeCial. Immortals doing work on the siege tanks, but they will all go down. And with that going down, that's just going to be it for Hurricane. He didn't quite have the army that he needed, took a very poor engagement, and SpeCial all of a sudden is up 2-0. Okay, so map number 3 is going to be Ice and Chrome, and we'll see if SpeCial is going to take a swift 3-0. I thought SpeCial Hurricane would be really close, so we'll see if Hurricane will bounce back or not. And sad news for those of you that are Falcon Paladin fans. It's looking like his power will be out till 2 a.m. So unless this tournament runs absurdly long, it's probably just going to be me you're stuck with. I'll have a bit of a sore voice by the end of this. But alas, that's fine. Let your friends know what you're up to this Friday night. Watching some awesome Starcraft here on Afrika TV, who sponsors the event. Big thanks to them, of course, as always. Waiting for Hurricane to ready up, then we'll get into it. Okay, looks like everyone's ready, so away we are. Sorry that look on my face. I was just checking the score for the hockey game, and yeah. Hope everyone's got some good weekend plans planned. One's probably going to involve cleaning my house and hopefully making it to the beach at some point. I just set up a new TV, so my whole setup got moved around. I got a new HDMI cable for it, but that's not as long, so then I had to move my PC so it would reach the TV, and my PC's on the sit-stand desk, so that just causes a whole world of ordeals because of all the cable length, and that's why things were a little bit messy today. Partially because Falcon is also usually up on the TV, which of course I swapped out, so that had to be configured. Ah, Copenhagen Das, you watching the game? Speaking of the game, anyway, in the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have got none other than Hurricane. It's a Hurricane. And in the top right, we've got SpeCial. Formerly known as Major, for those of you who've been asleep or in a coma. Or just out of the Starcraft scene. Yeah. SpeCial changed his ID quite a while ago. Alright, looks like we got a double racks play from SpeCial. So, living up to his name, showing us some special builds, and I gotta say, I like this. I mean, you're up 2-0, may as well give it a good old college try. There's one Reaper, it's probably gonna be double Reaper, right? And we've seen this straight up just kill Protoss. And this is why Terrans are always worried, or Protoss are always worried when they see the wall off on the high ground. It's literally what Terrans do just to stress out the Protoss. Just be like, oh yeah, guy, it's not a worry at all. Or I'm just hiding things from you. And the Protoss says, yeah, but what? And Terran says, gee, I don't know. This time it's double racks Reaper. Protoss throwing up an Adept. The problem is, a couple of Reapers, when microed well, can actually kill off Adepts. And that's why I love this build. If the Protoss player splits up his units in a greedy sense, like Protoss players often do, and by that I mean they think that one Stalker isn't really going to be repelled, or one Adept isn't really going to be repelled by anything the Terran has in the early game, and they're just fine. But the reality is that actually a couple of Reapers can kill off an Adept. This Reaper's going to want to jump on out of there. Gets away. And now SpeCial's got 3 Reapers. We'll see what he's able to get done with them. I mean, if the Stalker's nearby, they definitely won't be able to kill the Adept. But if, say, the Adept moves out and the Stalker stays home, or vice versa, then there's a chance that SpeCial could grab one of these units. And look at this, there's this Adept right at the front. In come the Reapers, tosses down a grenade, interestingly enough. Not actually going to engage, just going to go right for the probes. Looks like he gets 2. Make that 3 probes, jumps up in the main, but solid wall from Hurricane. Really messing with that pathing. It's like, oh, Hurricane even targets down one of the Reapers. So all of a sudden we just witnessed 2 Reapers for 3 probes. Not the best trade in the world for the Terran player. This Reaper will get into the main and will spot the Twilight, will spot the Robo going up. Can he get one more probe? It's looking like a no, to be honest. So, ouch, ouch, ouch. SpeCial not getting much done at all with this build. And that's just because of the great wall from Hurricane. Like, he very well would have got like another 2-3 probes if Hurricane hadn't walled like this. But he did. And so, great wall from Hurricane. Okay, Hurricane decides to throw up 3 gateways. Have a solid wall. He's got Blink on the way. So it's going to be one of those 4-gate openings that has become popular. What's with Protoss? Just saying that it's like 2012. Let's just 4-gate everything. It's 2020, Protoss players. It's not 2012. You silly guys. Silly, silly guys. Alright, there's Stimpak now on the way for SpeCial. Raven. No eBay yet, so no upgrades coming for his bio. It is 2-base against 2-base for now, but SpeCial will have to deal with the Blink Stalkers, and this is going to hit pretty darn soon. Once that Prism's out, it's going to be very hard for SpeCial. And if he doesn't build a bunker on the high ground, I'm honestly not going to have a lot of hope for him to hold this. He's making some Marauders, yes, but he's not going to have Stim. And I feel that if Hurricane does just get in a couple warp-ins of Stalkers, it'll be really, really tough for him. So we'll see. We shall see. I mean, Special, he does have the Raven, which really will help out. And Hurricane's not exactly running across the map as quick as he can. Now he's going. But he very well still could get some pickoffs. We shall see. Hurricane comes in with the Observer. We'll go into that Raven. We'll see if Special's able to get the Observer. Looks like the answer is no. Good reaction from Hurricane, getting that to a safe spot. Does Hurricane warp in another round of Stalkers? Yes, he does, so he is going to try to go with this pressure. 11 Stalkers in all. Raven uses its auto turret to actually kill the Observer, and oh my gosh, that is actually going to make it so that there's not as much high ground vision, which I feel is a really nice play from Special. However, of course, there still is the Prism, which can be used for that. Special loses 4 SCVs trying to repair that bunker, but he does repel the Stalkers. He even got 1 Stalker, so a little bit of something to help pay for that. Scan goes down for Special. He sees a Forge, so he knows that this isn't going to be a giant all-in. It's got to be very relieving for him, and he's also got Stim, so he should be able to push away the Protoss player. Once, I imagine, he's got Combat Shield, he'll probably get concussive shells to make these Marauders better at getting those Stalkers. And Special's got Bio, a lot of mobility, a quicker +1, and so I'd like to see him get across the map as soon as he can. Stalker's gonna try and keep being a pain. Marauder's Stim gonna try and grab a Stalker. Actually gets one. Nicely done. Of course, Hurricane's trying to get all the pickoffs that he can, but it's a lot of work for him. And Special's just rallying Bio. Special does lose a Marauder. Could lose a second one. Does. Nice pickoffs from Hurricane. Oh, does he get a third? Not quite. Special really needs to heal that Marauder up, as his numbers have already been thinned out quite a bit. This is going to make holding on for Hurricane much, much easier against the Terran pressure. Okay, the Bio engaging the Stalkers. Actually going to trade out just fine if Hurricane lets him, so this is a good trade for Special, I feel. Hurricane maybe underestimating the effectiveness of that Bio, losing quite a few units before the Colossus shows up. Yeah, I think that was quite an alright trade for Special, trading some Bio for Stalkers and Sentries. Third base for Special's on location. He's making tanks. He's getting armor. Hurricane, though, does have his third base already done. He can make quite a few probes.